Some people say a man is made out of mud. A poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood and skin and bones. A mind that's weak and a back that's strong.
Frankenstein, the world-famous monster here, and today I'm going to tell you about brainwashing. The American Heritage Stedman's Medical Dictionary defines brainwashing as inducing a person to modify his or her beliefs, attitudes, or behavior by conditioning through various forms of pressure or torture. In other words, brainwashing is a process used to change your mind from what it is into what the brainwasher would like it to become. There are 8 major techniques that brainwashers usually rely on in order to accomplish this process. The first technique is isolation. Isolation deprives you of social support that would help you to resist brainwashing. It also fosters a sense of dependence on your brainwasher, which makes you more susceptible to his overall message. When all you can see is the light at the end of the tunnel, the light suddenly takes on an exaggerated sense of importance. The second commonly used technique is called monopolization of perception. This focuses your attention on the brainwasher's message and effectively eliminates any competing messages. The third technique is debility and exhaustion induced by things like sleep deprivation and forced labor. What this does is weaken your mental and physical abilities to resist brainwashing. The fourth technique is simply making threats. Repeated use of threats cultivates a general sense of anxiety and despair, which makes you more apt to accept the brainwashing when compliance is presented as your only viable means to escape from that state of constant anxiety and despair. Another technique that brainwashers use is called occasional indulgences. When you look at brainwashing as a carrot and stick process, it only makes sense that every now and then your brainwasher has to hold out the carrot. An example of such an indulgence would be a simple Twinkie. It might seem to you to be a very grand luxury item under the circumstances of being brainwashed. Occasional indulgences gently lead you toward compliance with the overall brainwashing process and even make you feel gratitude toward your brainwasher. Another technique is known as demonstrating omnipotence. Your brainwasher will probably do everything he can to appear all-powerful so that you'll begin to view resistance as futile and comply. The next technique is enforcing trivial demands. These demands are very simple and seem unrelated to the brainwashing itself. For example, your brainwasher might force you to sit or stand in a particular position. The purpose behind this is to condition you so that compliance with the brainwasher's instructions becomes habitual. The last brainwashing technique that I'm going to tell you about today is degradation. What this does is make it appear to you that resisting the brainwasher will cause more harm to your self-esteem than giving in to him. It also puts you into a state of mind where you focus on animal-level concerns, because when you're treated like an animal, sometimes you begin to feel like one. Now, there's not really time today for me to get into all the different ways you could resist brainwashing, but let me say one thing, which is, now that you know something about it, that will go a long way towards frustrating the efforts of any would-be brainwasher. The techniques of brainwashing are kind of like magic tricks in that way. Once you know how the trick is done, its ability to fool you is diminished. This has been a public service announcement from Frankenstein. Stay sane.
If you see me coming, better step aside. A lot of men didn't, a lot of men died. One fist of iron, the other of steel. If the right one don't get you, then the left one will.